Space, the final frontier. Space Station Ashland sits on the edge of Federation space with its companion ship, the USS Delamis Christian. The space around them is full of mystery and strange wonders, where secrets are kept and danger lurks around every corner. The crew of the Delamis Christian must navigate treacherous waters as they work to protect the Federation. But as they peer into the unknown, they will discover that the line between friend and foe is not always clear. They will be tested like never before and will face challenges that will push them to their limits. Join us on this adventure as we explore the farthest reaches of space and uncover the hidden truths that lie within the shadows. Tabletop Journeys presents Star Trek: Preservations.
If we lose sight of it while we're here, we could have a problem.
Okay, so let's follow it.
As he comes around, there is a shield deflection of some external objects that bounce off the shielding. At this point, the ship reverses course and accelerates to three-quarter impulse and is basically face to face with you in almost no time at all. You are hailed.
As in a verbal hail?
Yeah, there's a communication coming from the other ship. They are looking for video, by the way.
All right. Just so my base is covered,
Yep.
aside from the risk of identification and things like that with video, is there risk for epsilon problems with video?
No, there is not.
Then I will have my team be ready to shield evade if needed, but accept the call.
All right. On screen is a ruggedly handsome individual with blue eyes, ruddy brown hair, a good 2.5, 3 day stubble, and a soul patch with one earring. And he kind of quarter smiles and he says, "Are you in some kind of distress? If so, Neelan and Lt at your service."
What did he say his name was?
Neelan and Lt.
Oh my gosh. I could ask you the same thing. It looks like you're going at quite a speed right into a very dangerous zone.
Oh, I was just letting my warp engines cool down for a little bit, so I'm traveling at impulse speeds for a little bit. Give it a breather before I get back along my way.
I feel from the way you describe things, that's clearly a lie from what we saw, is that it seemed like he was going straight towards the planet and then...
If you have the information you have, but if you would like to determine whether or not he's lying or not, as a Betazoid, you have abilities that might help in that endeavor.
I feel like I know, but I would like to use my empathy to sense the emotions of... Is it him alone? Do I see anybody else?
His ship, while it's a fairly good-sized ship, there's only one pilot's chair. You don't see additional chairs there. It looks more like a shuttle racing type craft. It's big for a racing shuttle, and clearly it's warp capable with those nacelles. You'd have to do more research to tell more than that, but it is a larger vessel, and while such a large vessel would be set up that way, would be something worth inquiring about.
Okay. So I would like to use my empathy to sense his general emotions.
Okay. I will set that difficulty for you, and I am going to spend 3 of his personal momentum, so he can get 2 more dice.
Can't be like that.
4 successes. So you've got a 4 difficulty to kind of confidently, with 100% assurity, tell if he's lying.
Okay. And
You have 1 momentum and you have 3 threat.
okay. Can I use a momentum and a threat?
You can. There's 4 threat in the general pool.
I'm very nervous. A good roll, but I don't think it's good enough. I guess I probably should. I don't think it really matters, but
The
I
ship
would.
can assist, by the way, because you are communicating. So the ship does have the ability to assist in this situation.
Ooh, I would like that, please. And I would have rolled like an insight. I actually don't know what is the best roll for an empathy. I assume it would be insight though.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation, but based on what you have right here, insight would probably be the best one.
Okay. And
Like either insight command or insight security, depending on what you prefer in this situation.
okay. So we'll do, I think insight security is relevant, but it doesn't matter for success. I have the same
Okay.
amount of successes with either of them. So
All
I
right.
get three successes and one not success.
The ship
Piece shit.
gets 1 success.
Yay.
It had to roll under a 9 and it got a 3.
Yay.
You are pretty confident he's spinning a yarn right now. And he's definitely hiding something, but more importantly, he is in a rush.
Hmm.
But he's stopped and he's also worried. So the part that's legitimate is he's legitimately trying to see if you all need help, but he is in a rush to get going wherever he was going.
Okay. So I will say that we are safe and fine. We are just passing through as well. And you have no obligation to stay with us.
Ah, this isn't the safest system to be around. It's hard to navigate through here.
It has been a challenge, but we are always up to a good challenge. We're a very capable team.
I really think you should go.
What dangers are you implying are here? What should we be concerned about?
I didn't say anything. Well, I mean, the dangers of the system, you could run into things. It's hard. Scanners, I've been through here a few times, so I have a kind of a protocol, if you will, set up so I know what to do. If you're off that, you could hit something. It looked like you almost hit something over there. You got real lucky. That was a pretty good size one. Like, I mean, it doesn't, you're not piloting the ship, are you? Your petty
First,
officer is just sitting there scowling at this
I will just like let that into back
point.
into space. I will resolve myself. I really don't think you have anything to worry about with us. We're just passing through. We'll be on our way. We're just slowly making our way through, and we'll be more careful, of course. These things happen now and then, but we are well prepared for what this system throws at us.
He ponders like the wheels turning in his head, and he's like, "Can I level with you? You two lovely ladies look like you are pretty smart. You're in Starfleet uniforms. I assume that means you're smart." Thenev is like really getting angry at this conversation. Her standard RBF it is devolving quickly into a full-on frustration, and he definitely notices that. He winks, and then he looks back at you and he says, "Look, I'm going to level with you. This is not the place you want to be. You want to be as far away from me as you possibly can and as soon as possible."
That's a pretty strong statement you're making without any specifics in any way.
All I can tell you is this is not going to be the safest place in the galaxy in a very short period of time.
You're
I
saying
fibbed a
that
little.
more people
And
are coming.
let's try to hide here.
You're trying to hide here. I see. Then you best be on your way.
I can't really hide here while you're here.
I will need a more compelling reason of why it's suddenly going to be unsafe and why you're hiding if you want us to leave on your behalf.
So, utilizing the social conflict rules, I'm going to set a difficulty here because you're going to have to convince him to come clean with more information.
I think it's
He's
more
not,
likely he's going to convince us to leave, but I really don't want to.
that's a 2 difficulty. Thenev will assist you on this one,
Okay.
as well as the ship.
And this would be a
You're
reason.
convincing him, so you could do it a couple different ways, actually. You could do it with presence command. You could do it with security if you're trying to intimidate. You could do daring if you're just trying to like really get out there and make it happen, that kind of thing. So you got a couple different options, but presence command is probably the most common.
I think presence command is the route I want to take.
Okay.
And we have
No momentum, and there
no
is
momentum
4 threat.
and forthright. All right. And I need to get 2 successes
Yep.
with 1 help. Sorry,
And the
just to
ship.
process it all. In the ship. Okay. So I'm gonna roll my 2 dice
Okay.
and I got 1 success.
All right. Then I have successful. She is a focus. What she did, however, is you saw her as soon as he said his name, she started typing at the pad quietly,
Um,
and she leans in. She said something to your console that gives you his name and a basic dossier on him. So her assistance is basically you getting more information on him. What you know of him is that he is a former Federation citizen who long ago he was like an independent kind of individual, well known in various shuttle racing circuits, kind of left the circuit under questionable circumstances. Nothing illegal, wasn't wanted, but last you heard, he was the consort of a ranking member of a Klingon house.
oh, interesting. Okay.
And the ship will also go. The ship does not help. No momentum at this point, but you are successful in convincing him to come clean. And he'll tell you, look, I've got some people who are less than happy with me coming after me. And they're not opposed to anybody that may have seen me being questioned. You do not want to be questioned by them. I wouldn't have stopped, but I couldn't allow people to get hurt because of me.
How much time do we have?
I don't know how close they were on my tail. I'm spending 2 threat, and coming out of warp is a Klingon ship.
Oh.
And this particular craft actually looks very evil.
You know it's
And
evil if you're upfront with how evil it looks.
oh, yes. This is also runabout size. It's bulkier, it's thicker, it's got big, huge disruptor cannons on the front and forward facing on its nacelles. And you can see that it openly has torpedo ports as well. And the moment it comes out, it raises shields. And you are both hailed simultaneously. And basically, it's looking to link up a 3-way call kind of situation.
I don't know if I want to do that.
He says, if we don't take it, she'll probably fire first.
All right.
Thenev's hand, she actually types in, and you can see on your screen that there's an automated protocol. She just literally has to wave her hand over the console, and it will automatically throw shields up at that point. So as long as you have momentum to spend, you can put yourself shields up as a basically a ready action.
You need to tell me these things before I spend all my momentum.
Thenev actually has her own personal momentum, so
Okay.
she will actually do that. That much I can tell you. She actually has that covered.
Okay. Got it.
And with that, the screen comes up, and you will see a Klingon woman.
Is she pretty?
Oh, of course she is. She does not wear the typical Lursa and Baitor boob window type armor. Her armor is extremely well done. Her hair is impeccable, like very neatly done, and she does hold a crest, which you would immediately recognize as you're looking at the matron of a full-fledged Klingon house. It's not one of the major houses, not one of the big 12 that run the Empire, but this is a Klingon house. You're effectively speaking to somebody who is on the level of, in a Federation society, as a planetary governor or ambassador. She's an official of the Klingon Empire,
Okay.
and she introduces herself. I am Lady Kivra of House Valak. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
I look over to Kaylin Drix, who I know that they know each other to some extent, and then look back. We're just, my name is Narilla, and we're just passing through.
Give me the courtesy of your designation, Lieutenant of the Federation.
I apologize. When I am traveling in ways like this, I'm not always so formal. I'm Lieutenant Neelan.
Lieutenant Drix, your dalliances seem to have improved. No longer Dabo girls on random stations, this far away from home. And with that, this scene ends.
Oh my gosh. I definitely have a sense of, man, maybe we should have just.
Yeah, choices were made. As the camera comes back on, it goes back to that three-way kind of call from your perspective. You're watching Lady Kivra glowering at Drix, and she has a fair amount of disdain towards you at this point. It's pretty obvious, no role necessary. She thinks that Drix is here to meet you, and
They're
and the
lovers.
jealousy is palpable.
I I want to I don't want to come out and say it, which is like this foolish, annoying guy who is screwing up our science has nothing to do with us. But I don't say that because I think that might be a little forward. But I do want to make it clear that I do not actually know this person, and
Mm.
that none of us do.
So you claim, Drix? You know why I'm here. Give me what is mine. For the first time since you've been interacting with Drix, he looks very stern. He doesn't have that glib look on his face. He's not like happy-go-lucky or trying to flirt. He looks at her very soulfully. He goes, Kivra, that's not going to happen. She looks at you directly. He is no longer a Federation citizen, and he has what belongs to me. We are not in Klingon space. I formally ask the Federation to help me obtain that which is mine. If, as you say, you don't know him.
Big yikes. I am just a science officer traveling through space. This feels a little outside of my purview.
Drix then says, Science officer or not, I'm not a Federation citizen, and I am no longer part of the Klingon Empire. I am asking for asylum.
I'm gonna glance at Thenev to see how she is reacting to this.
She looks very concerned now.
Yeah, I feel
And
like,
she types and slides a message over to your console that says, ask for some time. We'll get you up to speed.
and I will look back to Kithra of House Canuck and to the ruggedly handsome Kaylin Trix. I need a moment to consider what you both are asking of me in my group.
She looks at you and you hang up the call. Nicely done. Thenev tells you very quickly he's officially asked for asylum. We pretty much have to make sure nothing happens to him until we can have somebody from the Judge Advocate General's office weigh in as to what our options are. Chances are good that he'll lose that claim if it's proven that he has property belonging to a Klingon house, or he'll have to return the property and then he can maintain his asylum, but we probably need to find out what the property is.
So what happens if this Klingon ship just decides to escalate aggression if we give him asylum?
I don't know what kind of weapons beyond what we see on that ship. I can assume it's smaller. Smaller ships don't tend to have cloaks, but there's no way for me to know that. If we were in the Tank Abbott, I wouldn't be too worried.
Hmm.
In the Eagle, we're probably going to have to make sure we can fly out of here. And she looks at the petty officer without hitting asteroids. And he kind of looks sheepishly down.
Well, I suppose we have to do we have to do, and we'll have to take that risk and have to be on our A game. And I'll say that not looking at the petty officer, but letting it hang there.
Yes, ma'am. So at this point, is there anything you want to do before you reconnect the communication?
I think that we need to just make sure that we are do have all of the preparations in case things go sideways. Like
Okay.
just prepared to act fast if we need to. And then
So with everybody doing something in an emergency fashion in a very fast period of time, nobody's going to be able to assist each other, but the ship will be able to assist each of you. Whatever you'd like to do, the petty officer will do something. If you have a specific thing you want the petty officer to do, he'll do that. Is there anything specific you want to order him to do?
I think that I no, I do think that I trust him to make the right judgment at
Okay.
that time.
He, in that case, will put together a flight path, basically to get you out of there at maximum impulse. Basically, he's going to create a trait. It's going to be evasion pattern Mabrum 1. So basically, it's a 2 difficulty. He's going to use his focus, which will be dogfighting, and he's going to program a course to make it harder to be hit.
Okay, that's exactly the kind of thing I wanted him to do. Nailed it.
And he gets 1 momentum for the team, and he creates the trait. So he's got that. Is there anything specific you would like Thenev to do?
I think that she knows what she needs to do in the
Okay.
way of making sure that we're protected, but also like potentially advising if things go astray.
Okay. So she makes a very rapid and directed decision. She's deciding whether or not she needs to be offensive or defensive and takes stock of what's going on and then decides to be defensive. And what she's doing is coming up with a shield harmonic rotation that utilizes some of the data that you found from the electromagnetics to better defend versus disruptor fire. That's also a 2 for her. She has a focus that will allow her to help with this situation. And she, however, is not able to do so. She does not get that assist. And I forgot to roll for the ship for Mayburn, by the way. And the ship didn't help Mayburn either. So she's not able to really come up with anything that's going to better help with the shielding. She says, I've got nothing. The system is just, I'm not able to fight through the interference in this system.
Okay.
Our regular shields will work, but I can't augment them in any way.
We will.
Which leaves it to you with 1 momentum.
Okay. So she's able to do the basic stuff, just nothing like crazy, right?
Correct.
Okay.
She was trying to create a trait that would be helpful. She was just unsuccessful in doing that.
Okay.
But she
Then
does still have her own momentum to make sure the shields go up with a momentum spend.
that was the secret thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that will. So when we take someone asylum, do we take them onto our ship or do we just escort them?
Either or both, depending on the situation. So you could take him aboard.
Okay. Then I am going to. How much? We have 1 momentum and how much threat is accumulated?
There is 2 regular threat. The Klingon has her 6.
Okay.
Drix has 3.
Okay. So we're gonna come back online due to regulations and how we need to proceed. We are going to accept asylum. And I think I would like to I've never done this before, so this might be cop out, but I want to use my extrasensory perception, which what I want to use it for is I can spend 1 threat or I can spend some amount of threat. I don't know if it says 1 per. That you can offer me information about the current situation that I would not normally be able to determine. 1 hint adds 1 threat.
Okay. 1 threat has been added. Kivra said what he has in his mind. She was hiding something in the way she said that. She was not trying to say what it was, but she wasn't hiding it from you. And clearly, Drix knows it. She is desperately trying to hide it from her crew.
Ah,
She doesn't want her crew to know why she is so desperate to be in this situation.
does it seem to me like they had a I feel like the puzzle pieces are leading me to believe that they had a romantic relationship and that this is a very personal quarrel and also a very personal item, probably.
Yes, there is definitely a romantic tension there. She
I
feels utterly betrayed by him.
don't love that we are being put in the middle of this.
I would also say he doesn't seem to be angry at her or hate her in any way. And he doesn't seem to feel guilty about whatever it is that he's done, but it doesn't seem like at least from his perspective, nothing he's done is bad. Whatever she thinks is the betrayal, he doesn't see as a betrayal.
Okay.
And there is this thing that he definitely has. He absolutely has what it is she says he has.
Okay.
So yes, it's very personal, but it's also very personal to both of them.
So how I will approach it is I will tell Kaylin Drix that we're prepared to take him under our care for protection if that's what he requests. But this does feel like is personal in nature and that the best way forward perhaps could be resolving it here and now.
Thank you, but I can't give her what she asks.
It must be very important then. If you both want it so much.
Almost simultaneously, he says, I would give my life for this. And she says, I would burn down the Empire, even if that meant going to war with the Federation.
Yikes. In my head, obviously. I don't know if I have the sort of persuasion skills that perhaps my commander would. I feel like this situation would be resolved already if he was here.
But let's see what Tobor has taught you.
But I think I should try to talk some sense into them because they're both being very unreasonable. And that nothing could be so important to burn and kill everything in your wake. So I would like to try to persuade them. I don't know if I have any tricks or anything.
So Thenev will send something to you that says, can we get them to talk in person?
Perhaps we could try. I will invite them onto our ship to talk in person, where we'll be able to help facilitate a resolution to this very important quarrel.
As the matron of House Valak, we have alliances with Klingon houses that have been friends of the Federation, and specifically the ship from which your shuttle harbors. Out of respect for that alliance, I will attend this conversation.
Thank you very much. It is kind of you, and we will ensure that we do nothing to break your trust in us.
House Flock is an honorable house. You have nothing to fear from us at this time. With that, she will end the communication on her end and she will beam over. Trix will say, I'll do it. He brings up a hologram, and it's a fairly rudimentary hollow doctor. And he says, when I beam over, put the shields up. I'm yours, Lieutenant. Take me. And he offers up his wrists. Again, he's back to doing that devilish smile.
How much he changes with different audiences.
Very much so.
All right. I will not play into any of those shenanigans. This is serious business. I am a serious leader today.
Fair enough.
Trying to keep it together. I just wanted to do some science.
Isn't that the way it goes? All I wanted to do was some science today.
You wouldn't even believe how.
With that, he beams over in towards the back part of the shuttle where you would do mess. There's a small table set up. It's been configured so there's basically three sides set up kind of like in a triangular fashion so that there is no head of the table, so to speak. You are seated. The matron, when she's there, she hands over a ceremonial Klingon dagger to Thenev. And she looks at Thenev. She says, I trust that the dagger of House Valak will be in good hands while we are here. Thenev nods. She takes her seat. She's fairly statuesque. She's Klingon, but she's muscular. She's fully clothed, got all her armor on and whatnot. But she has the regalia of somebody in a position of authority. She, like I said, she's the matron of the house. So she takes her seat. Drex comes in. He's basically in space overall work clothes kind of thing. And so he's got a couple smudges here or there. And he sits down. His hair is tousled and a little messy and whatnot. And says, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm gonna allow a pause to give them this shared space, like this heavy shared space on them before I will encourage them to talk. And in my Betazoid ways, I will almost try to therapy them a little bit.
Okay. So there's some quiet And do you want them to talk to each other, or you are
I'll allow them to talk to, I want them to talk to, in the end goal is to get them to find common ground and then get on their ship and go away
yeah.
happily so I can do my science. That's the end goal.
So Kivra goes into some detail about believing that Drix is not trustworthy, has betrayed her. Drix is, that's not true. I've never betrayed you, at least not until 3 days ago. But the reasons I did it was important. And she's, you can tell she's very angry. And there's a whole lot of not, she doesn't believe it. She's, I've heard stories. They've told me about you. And he literally says the words, baby, they're lying to you.
It's hard to keep a straight face in this situation.
And she is like angry at this point. Like she pounds her hands on the table. Why would they lie? And like, why would anybody lie to you? Because they want something from you. They want your house. They want your power. You've got cousins and uncles that want this or want that. I don't want any part of that. I just want to build nice ships. Look, I built the Cinder so out of all the stuff I could find, and none of it came from your house or from your house's coffers. It's 100% mine. Just trying to get out of here so we can be safe. And she says, you will never be safe as long as you have him.
Him?
And then Drix says, your house is under constant threat. I'm not going to leave our son to be a potential threat for assassination. I'm out of here and I'm taking him with me. If you want to stay in that house and you want to play those political games, that's on you, but you're not putting my son at risk. He is the heir to House Valak. You will not leave with my child. At this point in the conversation, what would you like to say or do?
So I'm like the wheels in my head are turning and I'm just like, was he gonna leave his son on this ship and take asylum and just leave him in dead space?
No. Based on what you saw, like you notice he brought up a doctor, not a
Oh,
pilot, not a combat person.
he was gonna send him away somewhere, unknown
Uh,
destination.
he wasn't coming onto your ship to, he was coming onto your ship for the conversation.
Yeah.
He was hoping you would take him and the ship.
Okay. It's better, but still. Okay.
At that point, you also pretty easily recognize he's actually very worried about the
Oh,
ship, and he seems to do a lot of quote unquote clock watching. He doesn't have a watch, or there's not a clock, but you can tell that he's thinking about how much time is being spent.
I'm not really this kind of doctor, like a family therapy doctor.
I'm a
Okay.
botanist, not a
Right.
marriage counselor, Jim.
I am definitely thinking to myself, like, how the F did I get here? But I'm gonna still try. It seems that this is more than about your son. It feels like there's something else that has happened that has felt harmful and has torn you apart. And perhaps if you could work through the details of this, you might come to a more comfortable situation with your child who likely would benefit from both parents being part of their life.
He betrayed me.
How?
Dabo girls on station Qatar.
Is this true?
Absolutely not. I was on that station trying to purchase some regulators for the Silver Ember. I had been told that the proper kind that would work with the technology I was working with could be found there. I got them at a good price. It was later than I anticipated. I got a meal in the restaurant. I woke up elsewhere. And yes, there were some situations that could not be explained, but I did nothing. What's the phrase? Untowards? The fact that Kivra has visual evidence of what happened that morning, or at least me leaving in that state, tells me that it was a setup. And if I am dealt with in that way, my son, in order for her to maintain her house, would be in grave danger from whomever she chose to be betrothed to. Someone's after her seat. Myself and my son are collateral damage. And she says, and if you were half the man you claimed you were, you would fight at my side. I am all the man I've ever claimed to be. But this man doesn't fight an empire. I want to raise ships and raise my kid. If that's not honorable enough for you, that's on you.
It sounds like you've had a lot of love for each other and that you still do. Perhaps one unexplained night is not enough to break your trust of each other.
Doesn't matter. The story is at court. I'm required to deal with it. Even if I let him go, I have to face the consequences. That shame will reduce my power. Others who seek control of my house will have an easier road to my throne. I need a way to not fail in the eyes of my house. I would take my loyalists, the ships we have and the ships he has helped us build, and fight any who would attack us. A civil war in our house will defeat them. But he runs, unless you can think of a better way.
I am not someone who thinks that all defeats need to come in battle. I think there are many ways that you can use your voice to gain what you need to stay in the power that you want. I can't speak to your relationship, and I'll look at both of them, but you did bring a child into it.
I have a limited time before I have to return to my house. What do you suggest we do? I need to return with his head or my child, knowing that he ran like a patak. Or I need a way to return with some other kind of victory.
I don't think that the resolution that will work will be the end of your partner. I don't think that will bring you what you think it will. I think that you being the lady of the house has more power than you're giving yourself credit for. And I think swooping in here and snatching your child away from the father of that child will cause a lot of harm. And I think you know that.
I'm willing to discuss this further if need be. Is there a place, a Federation place, where he can feel safe, where we can continue negotiations with your officials?
Of course. That being said, me as Lacey doesn't know exactly where that would be.
Yeah, it would probably be Aslan Station.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, basically the three of your ships could go towards Aslan Station and then send word towards the DC to meet you there.
Right. That's a pretty solid plan.
Okay. She agrees and she looks at him and says, "Is he well?" "Yes, he's well." And she reaches into a pouch and she pulls out a strange little device. And it looks very rubbery, but like a really hard kind of rubber. And it looks like a small batleth. It's his favorite teething toy. And this is the moment where you see Drix actually take off a glove. I'm like, I'm glad you had that. And his hand has got like all these little bite marks and it's all scarred up because this is getting old. And then he flashes her a smile and you see her kind of smile. And that's a really nice little moment. So as that scene clears up, your ships are en route. You have collected a lot of data. And the one thing that comes through as you're on your way back towards Aslan Station is that while that planetary system and all the various things that are there does a lot to mask certain things, there are also traceable elements that contaminate vessels that go through that space that are really hard to get off. Basically, anything that passes through there will collect this. And for a very long, like light years upon light years of travel, even at warp afterwards, it'll literally leave a trail for anything that has come through. So anything that passes through, you can see where it's gone, where it's been, that type of thing. The other thing you notice is just outside of the system, there's a full-on Klingon Vorcha class battle cruiser that bears the markings of House Valak.
God.
um, yeah, she was in a shuttle from her big ship, and she does let you know before she leaves your ship that her elite guard, which are very trustworthy to her, she just doesn't like to put them in positions where that has to be tested, that were the only people on board that ship. You've got the Eagle being escorted by a Klingon battle cruiser and this very small non-aligned craft being
Tobo's gonna
piloted
love
by
to
Drix.
see you roll in like this.
Yeah, you're rolling with a lot. The
He's
other thing
never
that
gonna trust me again.
you didn't get shot at, and nobody left a saber in the captain's seat. The other thing that you notice is that once you saw that traceable signature's there, Thenev will actually tell you that there was a traceable signal leaving the system that doesn't belong to the three of your ships, but that signature also holds with it like a subspace residue. Basically, the remaining subspace ship came through here, and you now have the ability to track it.
Yes. Sorry.
As we wind down the episode and as you're flying towards there, you have the choice with that information to notify the Delamas Christian at once, and you can rendezvous at Aslan Station, or you can save it until you get back and meet up with them regularly.
I think I would like to tell them immediately.
Okay. So you pass on the word to Captain Tobor. We will end here immediately because Josh will pick that up when you guys record in 3 days.
I will remember what happened at this session.
All right. So very quickly, because I do want to make sure we account for all kinds of cool details and such, do want to do some rolls for you
Right?
related to reputation and such. Let me know if you're ready.
Ready.
All right. We're going to go through the positive influence questions. Was your mission successful? I would say a resounding yes. Did you use positively any of the mission's directives? I don't think that really came up, but
That isn't that only if I use a determination that is,
yeah,
and I tried to, but ended up
you didn't.
not.
You ended up not because you didn't have to because you had another means to do it.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Did you obey the orders given to you by your superiors? I would say yes. Did you prevent combat from occurring and or escalating hostilities?
I would like to hope that I did.
Absolutely. Did you establish common ground or peaceful cooperation with those newly encountered or that were previously hostile?
Yes.
Yep. Did you directly contribute to the saving of lives of innocent people and perhaps your fellow crew?
Okay.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
And did you take all reasonable steps to render aid to those in urgent need or distress? I would say yes. So, yeah, there's 6 there.
Emotional
As
need.
far as, yeah, as far as negatives, your mission was not a failure, so nothing there. You didn't challenge. You weren't disobedient. Nobody was killed. You did not employ force. Did you take unnecessary risks? No. I think any risk you took was necessary. No innocent lives were lost. You did not lie, cheat, threaten, or coerce. Did you permit somebody to act unethically? And that didn't happen. So you have no negative influences on your role. You have 6 positive influences. And as a
Wow.
reminder for everyone and those who are new, the way this works is we determine our target number, and that number would be 7 plus the player's reputation score, 5. So 7 plus 5 is your target number. The difficulty is based on the number of negative influences, which is 0, and your dice pool is equal to the number of positive influences. So you get 6d20s, and anything under your reputation roll of 5 counts as a critical success.
Okay. So is it under 5 or matching 5?
Meets it, beats it. So 5 or less.
Okay. So I have 4 successes.
Excellent. With 4 successes, that is 4 acclaim, which allows you to utilize those. I would say you were this year promoted, so that wouldn't happen. You would need 6 to increase your reputation, but you do have the ability to gain favor, and 4 would gain you favor with anybody you encountered that would have been in a position of pretty reasonable authority. Leadership of a minor house, 4 would actually work for.
Perfect. I would like this to be.
All right, so you will gain favor and a connection with Lady Kivra of House Velak. And you will learn more about her over time because the next session starts immediately. She is a contact, she's a friend. It is probably something you're not going to be able to use right away because of the immediacy of that. But provided everybody survives Josh's adventure, we'll go ahead and get you all the details on her house and such that follows. And if anybody listening would like to know a little bit more, or perhaps even see a character sheet for Lady Kivra or Drex or their 2 specialized ships, we'll be posting that on our Patreon page and on the Tabletop Journeys Discord. So we'll have it there for you. Feel free to come and take a look and visit us and see it. That'll actually not be a paid thing. That's just free to see for anybody who wants to visit and see how we do things around here.
If the ships did indeed look as evil as were implied.
Yes. I don't think the Silver Ember looks evil, but that's just me.
I think in the context of it, the way it played out, it felt that led me to feel like it looked evil even before
Yeah.
seeing it. Those sharp edges, like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's some sharp edges. It has this little top thing that's Klingon-esque, even though it doesn't have that Klingon color scheme. There's some elements that looks like it's ready to tussle. That's cool. But the Klingon ship is nice. I had a lot of fun making that one. All right, everybody, thank you so very much for joining us. Again, this was Star Trek Preservation's Quick Treks. This episode featured our amazing science officer, Lieutenant Neelan, played by Lacey Knudsen. Thank you for joining me tonight, Lacey. And this episode was Signals in the Dark. Good night, all.